Yes, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Chopping It Up with Charms. You know who it is. I'm the man himself. I'm here to chop up this week's football conversation, this week's football interest, everything that you've had on your mind. I'm going to split back at you with my own personal spin and opinions on it. This week, what's happened? Well, Erling Haaland has penned himself a new deal for the next decade, which kind of proves that Man City are the scummiest team in world football, particularly as it attains to their books and FFP. What else have we got going on? We've got Trevor Chalobah called back. He's coming back. It looks like Chelsea are not going to be pursuing Mark Guehi, and we'll be going for the right-sided centre-back as is, returning back from loan. What else have we got? Oh, wait. Omar Marmoush making the sign. That's the real deal right there. He's unreal. Matisse Tell as well. What a player he is. Where's he going to go? Who wants him? I'll give you a clue. Me. First topic I wanted to speak about very quickly. Manchester City. Everyone knows about their 115 breaches, or the potential breaches anyways. With that number being so big, 115, pretty much everyone expected them to be done for something, in some capacity, even if it's a slap on the wrist. But this morning, on Friday, it's come out that Erling Haaland is penned a new deal for the next 10 years to stay with the club. What's interesting about that is the confidence. Where do you get this confidence from? If there's potential point deductions, relegation threats, and all of this, financial sort of stipulation to follow, that you are going to be punished for breaching the rules, and then all of a sudden, you're penning the biggest deal in football history when it comes to a contract. 500k a week, that's more than what Mbappe's making. That's the biggest deal ever, definitely in the Premier League. And 99% sure in world football anyways. I think that it's insane, to be totally honest, that we're just cool with this. This is going to show that maybe breaching is a good idea. Maybe breaking all the rules that were set there to ensure the health of the sport. I think that, it's been proven that the more you violate them, the more success you'll have. You could violate 115 breaches, as long as you've got the right lawyers, you won't receive any of the punishment. It's just going to be appeal and appeal and appeal. And eventually the problem's going to go away. I mean, that's how it's coming across anyways. You look at a side like Nottingham Forest, they had a point deduction last season. They had been found to have cooked the books in many an aspect. But now that they've got over the trouble, they're third in the Premier League, and they're vying. They're arguably the biggest contender against Liverpool this season. So, they've taken 5 points off of the team that look like they're going to win it. They look like a better team than Arsenal. They play better football than pretty much anyone else, bar maybe Liverpool. I think that teams have got to start looking at the idea of breaching the rules, because they're not going to be enforced properly, and breaching them, as long as you once again go about it the right way, you break the rules correctly, then you'll be fine. Nottingham Forest broke the rules incorrectly and they are fine. Nonetheless, Man City broke the rules 115 times, most of them incorrectly, and they've been, slapped on the... Sorry, most of them correctly, and they've been slapped on the wrist. They've not really had anything to say about it, other than penning themselves a fantastic new lucrative deal for their star striker. So, just to wrap it all up, I'm disgusted by this insidious behaviour from a horrible club, a bully. And also, once again, I'm a Chelsea fan, a diehard Chelsea fan. So, if you want to talk, I don't have a problem with financial investments and with using money to buy big players, and I don't mind spending 200 million a year. I genuinely don't mind it. Just do it the right way and legally, like Chelsea have for 2 decades. Selling off hotels to stay in compliance with PSR rules. Listen, none of that. Man City, speaking on the topic of Erling Haaland, he's not necessarily been firing to the degree that people have expected him to, or as much as Man City have wanted. The opportunities just haven't come to him. So I think they need a second striker to bounce off of him and see how that works. They never really replaced Julian Alvarez, and I think he's a fantastic player, a player that really did bring something to Man City, someone that did bring goals off of the bench, someone that brought goals when they started, someone that could play off a second striker or be central, someone that could be out wide. Someone else that fits that is this young player called Omar Marmoush. And now a lot of Man City fans are loving this kid. And I had a look at him for Frankfurt against, I think it was Stuttgart the other day. And that was the game where it was all the conversation was being had before the game. Is he going to sign? Is he not? It ended up being a let's see what happens with this performance. Bracing an assist, look better than he's ever looked. Look dynamic, look sharp, look hungry. And I think that says it all, you know. When everything is on the line, when a club comes knocking, a club of the size and magnitude of Man City come knocking, you're probably going to want to say yes. And you know, that is a hell of a performance to have. That is a hell of a show to give to the to the Man City fans who are watching. You know, not necessarily in attendance, but they would have been seeing that game, keeping an eye on their potential new striker. And I think they would have been very impressed, you know. He looked calm. He looks ready. He's able to press in at centre-backs and have them guessing. And, you know, I think he's the real deal. And I think that a side like Man City will squeeze the best out of him. And yet, you know, this move is something that has been kind of one of the main talking points over the transfer window. I think they're going to get it over the line. I think they'll end up paying in you know, 60, 70 million for him. And I think he's going to become, you know, the truth. I think he already is the truth. I just think he needs a team of that magnitude to really let him showcase his ability. If we want to talk about the same thing, but talk about it with a bit more of a royal blue tint, Christopher Nkunku is set to be on his way off to Bayern Munich in a potential swap deal for French striker Mathys Tel. Yes, striker. A lot of people think he's a winger. I don't know if it's a FIFA card thing and, you know, that happens sometimes, or if he's just been employed on the wing an awful lot. But I look at him and I think he's a striker. He's 6'3", he's massive, towers over everyone. He's young, 18, 19. He's super technical with the ball. He could turn on a dime. Great dribbler. I think he's Nkunku, but 18, and he's a project player. And the problem with Nkunku is it's hard to fit him into a slot, right? Because we got him in as a 10, he gets injured. We get Cole Palmer in the same window a couple of weeks later as a sort of temporary replacement. He becomes the best player in the league, you know, at that point. I think that we have to move on. I think if Nkunku was 10 years younger, if he was a project player, and obviously he's still young, don't get me wrong, like he's still, what, 27 odd? But if he was the age of a Mathys Tel, then it would make sense to kind of slowly want to wean him, because there is the time, there is the body still to grow into, there is all the development still to be had. I just think that Mathys Tel is just so good for his age. You know, he's wise beyond his years. He's calm, but he's a ruthless finisher. He's a ruthless finisher. He'll bury it near corner. He'll do the dirty. And at that age, you know, when he's still moldable, he's still at that age where he could come into a club and be shapen and be formed like clay. I think that a project manager like Enzo Maresca is really going to be able to get the most out of him. Is really going to benefit from a player like that in his system. I would as well. I would make the swap today, personally. If I could have the opportunity to swap Nkunku directly for Mathys Tel, I would do that. There's probably going to be some cash involved on our side, which I would snap their hand off regardless. Because I think that, like for like, what a young player that he is. Speaking of a fantastic young player in Chelsea, Chelsea have been looking to get Mark Guehi back, from Crystal Palace back, because he was in the youth academy. It looks like Chelsea wanted to snap him up again, but instead they've taken up his centre-back partner in Chalobah, who is there on a loan spell. We've just called him back in early. I can understand it 100%. He's right-footed. He's a centre-back. He plays on that right side. It's somewhere where we've had a hole. So he plays on that left side as a right-sided centre-back. It's somewhere we've had a whole bunch of left-footed centre-backs. We need some more passing range. You know, we need a way to get out of that back line. It looks so trapped at times, you know, particularly with a goalkeeper like Robert Sanchez, who is not amazing with the ball to his feet. I feel like Chalobah there gives us a little bit more security. It gives us a little bit more stability. It also gives us a solid player to rotate off from the bench. He is someone that obviously knows his role, and I say that with as much respect as I can. You know, he knows his role. He knows that he's going to need to work to get to that, starting position. He's not quite a Chelsea starting centre-back, particularly if everyone's fit. You know, if we have Fofana and Colwell there, I don't think he gets a look in. But as it is at the minute, I think he can get some minutes in at left back. He can utilise on the other side. Right back's going to be a little bit harder, but he can get the minutes in at left back. I also think that at left centre back, he's also going to be able to get the time in when it's needed, playing with his right foot. Overall, I think that it's a good idea what we're doing with the centre backs. It's frustrating because this is what I wanted 3 weeks ago. But I've kind of conceded on that original point, and I kind of do want to go for Mark Guehi. The more research I do, the more sort of tape I do, the more football I watch of his, the more I realise he's really, really good. He had a fantastic Euros. He looks great for Crystal Palace. I completely forgot that he's their captain at 24, which is just crazy impressive. And he looks quick, he looks strong, he looks determined, he looks clever. And I think that they're the things that we need. We need someone with a high IQ who's not going to make a technical mistake, who's not just going to give the ball away, which is something that all of our centre-backs seem to be doing as of recent. But that is the end of a wonderful episode of Chopping Arm with Charms. Don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to smash every single button that you can see at the bottom of this video. Share one. No one really does it, but you can share. I'm pretty sure we can see that. So share the video as well, just if you want to be do the golden mile. But yeah, that's me. God bless. God bless. Take care. And I'll see you next week, hopefully, with Simon Matisse Tell. Take care.